Hey y'all, today we're going to take a look at this HP Pavilion 23. Sorry, today is my first day ever doing a video. As you can tell, the screen is busted. Whenever you're replacing these, you got to make sure that the bezel right here is not messed up. First thing first, if you do not feel comfortable doing this, do not attempt it. Take it to someone that does know. You can easily mess up the computer far more than what it already is. Okay, so we're going to shut it down. Okay, once it's shut down, you always want to pull the power cord. You never want to attempt any of this with any power connected. Okay. Just for your references, this model number is 23-G011.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you've got screws here and here. As you can tell, you don't have any more screws anywhere else. These screws you will not actually pull out. As you can tell, whenever unscrewing it, it actually pops it off by itself. Now, I've already taken this apart, so I've not put all the screws back in there, just so that we can speed things up. Okay, so that's what the insides look like. Like I said, we're going to replace the screen, so we're going to go a bit further than this right here. Now, the first thing you want to do before touching any of this is discharge the static electricity in your body. Touch some kind of ground, something. I have already statically discharged, so we should be good. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these speakers out of the way. Okay, the speakers are very sensitive. You want to make sure that whenever you're pulling them off, you do not yank on anything. So as you can tell, it's plugged in right here. So instead of me pulling on the cord, I'm also going to go ahead and disassemble this. It's better safe than sorry, because you do not want to have to replace it.
Quit eating stuff off the floor.
Okay, so as you can tell, it has a little bit of a lip here, so you do not just pull it straight up. You pull it to the side, and then pull it straight out. Okay, so now this is exactly where your speakers plug into the motherboard. This is considered the motherboard. If you do have to touch it, it's best to touch it on the corner pieces. You do not really ever want to touch any of this. This is actually where your USB slots are. This right here is where your RAM is. This is for your antenna. This is where your processor goes. It's okay. We'll worry about that screw here in a minute. Okay, so like I said, instead of pulling these cords, it's best to pull it out like this. Now see, I did not damage it, I did not hurt it, but if I were to pull the cords, I possibly could end up yanking the actual cords from the plastic piece. So that's the reason that I prefer pulling it out like that. Now be very, very careful with these cords. These pieces are very sharp. You could very easily slice one of these cables. And as you can tell, you see how thin these cables are? If any of them were to get sliced, you could mess it up. You see how easy that was? It's a very slow process. Like I said, very slow, but at least you don't damage anything. Okay, so this right here is your data cable over here to your CD, DVD drive. We're going to go ahead and unplug this, and this is the power cord. Now the power cord goes into one of these. The majority of the times the power cords do not matter in the order that they're plugged in. This right here is for your CPU, which is your central processing unit. This one right here is for your hard drive. This is the other power cord for your hard drive. As you can tell, I probably should not have yanked them like that, but it is thicker cord, so I guess you can get away with it if you want, but it's not best to. Now we're going to go ahead and pull the CPU fan. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now that the processor fan is out of the way, you can easily get to some of the other screws. Okay, now that all of these have been pulled out, like I said, you only really want to touch these on the sides, because you can statically discharge enough static electricity in your body to damage one of these parts. So, like I said, we're going to set that to the side. Okay, now previously we unscrewed the speakers, but we did not pull them out because of the motherboard. The motherboard was in the way. So now we're going to go ahead and pull the speakers out. Now they kind of lift straight up. You don't want to yank them from side to side or anything like that. Pull them straight up. Be very careful of the wire. Set them aside. Okay.
Okay.
Now time for the hard drive.
Or over here. Sorry.
Okay, this hard drive screw does not completely come out. This is the first one you're going to want to do. The second are right here. Now these screws do come out. You want to pull them out. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to slide the hard drive forward, just like this. You can go ahead and pull this out of the way, set it to the side, and go ahead and lift your hard drive up. In this caddy, it locks it in place. You could obviously replace the hard drive with any kind of hard drive you would like, but as long as it's in this caddy to fit to the case. Now we're going to go ahead and take this other micro motherboard off. It'll be okay. This one has a little bit of a lip. I don't know if you can see it, but you have to push down on it while pulling out. Set this to the side. Now you want to go through the lines, make sure that this is loose, because this is actually a case that we're about to have to pull off.
This whole thing?
Yes.
Feet are hurting.
Like I said, you want to be very careful with this. Can you quit doing all that moving? Stop. I'm sorry. It's Phillips head. The Phillips head may not be the exact screw that you end up getting. Like I said, I've removed these screws and put them back in place. All the screws are the exact same size, so technically they don't exactly have to be all in the exact same spot. Not with this computer specifically. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and pull this off, this piece right here. The first one you're going to want to do is this corner piece. Now you're going to want to look for this little piece because this side, as you can tell, does not have that piece. Okay, now we're going to come back over here. Unscrew this. Oh, still got to be unscrewed a little more. Okay. So now pull this up, pull it up like this, and pull it out. Oh, sorry. There we go. Really? There it goes. Ideally, you want to pull it out like this, but you know, the screws might get in your way a little bit. Now be careful with these screws because these screws do come out.
That's all the same size screws?
Yes. Okay, now once those are out of the way, you go ahead and start on undoing the side pieces, or you can start working on the DVD drive. It's totally up to you. Since I'm already in this area, I'm going to go ahead and pull that screw out. Work my way up. Okay, so now for the DVD drive, you're going to want to go back to the Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to unscrew it. This screw will not come out all the way. Just make sure that it is undone. And you're going to slide it forward. This piece right here actually sits inside here, so don't try and yank it out of the way. Pull the CD drive out, set it to the side. Once you've unscrewed these, you can lift it straight up. Okay. Do not forget about the tiny little button over here to turn it on. We unscrewed it earlier, but we did not pull it out. This is the actual button. As you can tell, it clicks and it pushes in right here. That actually turns the computer on. So we'll go ahead and set that to the side.
I'm trying to get it to focus.
It's okay.
It's out of focus.
Alright. I think that should be about done, other than these other tiny screws here. And also, if you can, it's kind of best to put something soft underneath the computer that you're working with. That way, in case you need to slide it around. I didn't worry about it because the screen is already busted. You can't really do any more damage to it. Okay, as you can tell, all the screws on these corner pieces are taken out. There's no screws holding it down at this given point. So from here, you're just going to kind of want to lift. But you got to be careful because this little piece right here will lock it in place. Make sure this is out of the way so you do not break it. Pull these out from underneath. You might have to maneuver it. Pull this one out. And then that's it. Go ahead and set this to the side. The screws that I dropped earlier, didn't really fight with them. Okay, so now, here's the thing. When you're looking at the screen, obviously you want to look for key features when you're looking for a new screen. You want to make sure that, don't worry about this cord, but this plug-in is over here on the left-hand side. Get a clear image of this. You want to make sure that the model number right here, this model number, matches, okay? You want to make sure that it ideally looks kind of like it, but then if you can help it, you want to make sure that that HP pin right there, that's the part number. You want to make sure that that matches. And even though this is an HP computer, As you can tell, it says Samsung right there. Reason being is because Samsung is the manufacturer of the actual LCD screen. So, now with that being done, there is nothing locking this screen into place. So you can pick the whole entire screen up, and then that's it. This is the actual piece that was busted. It's busted over here on the right hand side. So I hope you liked the video, and that is it. Stay tuned, and whenever I get the new part in, I will show you how to put it all back together and reassemble it.